Okay, awesome. So Maggie, my first question is, and this is from your experience, but how do you go about setting new goals and adjusting to realistic expectations for obviously what you're capable of doing in the gym and then your weight loss now that you have aged above, far above 55, 60s and beyond? How do you reset your goals and your expectations knowing that you might not be as strong and won't lose weight as fast as you did in your 20s and 30s?
Let's see. The best way to answer that is you encourage me, Michael, and keep after me and keep reminding me that at my age, muscles get lost. Hi, Sandy. At my age, you lose muscle tone. You won't be as strong as you used to be, but I still go into the gym and keep trying all the time because I want to, my goal is to keep my strength at the level it's at now. I know I'm sure I won't get any stronger, but to keep my strength at the level it is now and to keep it in so that all of my lifts and all of my movements are correct, so as not to harm myself, because I do know that my bones might crack if I do something wrong. My muscles may give out on me if I do something wrong. And as far as the eating goes, tracking my food, tracking my water, and staying within the program of eating what's natural, such as meats and veggies, I will lose weight very quickly. It's when I stray from that the weight bounces, I should say. It doesn't come back, it bounces.
So how do we respond to the people that they're getting older and they say, they've tried a whole bunch of stuff. They've tried to cut back on calories and portion sizes. They try to go to the gym, but because they're older, they just assume their metabolism is trash. They're going through menopause and they believe it's impossible to lose weight. What do you say to them, and how do they make adjustments to that sort of mindset? Because that's the common thing that I end up talking about with people. As soon as they get over 55, that's what they say. We jump on a call and they're like, I'm over 55, and with where I'm at, my metabolism is just so low, I think it's impossible for me to lose weight. And obviously I'm as a male who's younger, cannot convince them that may not be true. How do you go about navigating those waters?
I give them basically my history with you. I tell them that I started with this personal trainer at age 68. And it took us 2 years, but he managed to work with me and build my strength up and help me through my eating program. And I lost over 70 pounds in 2 years. And so it can be done. You're never too old to start. And then at 70, he opened his own gym, which at that time he called it a CrossFit gym. And I had no idea what I was getting into until I went in there. And I love every minute of it because all of the workouts are modified for our age. I see Sandy's on this call, and Sandy, has been the same route with me over the years. She's now moved, but anyway, so I go in, I try to go daily. Some days I'm winding down on my career, my real career finally. And so as of the 30th, I will not have to worry about morning staff meetings, virtual staff meetings, driving into work, or whatever it is that I've been doing over the past 20 years. So I go into the gym, I try to go into the gym every day, 5 to 6 days a week, and monitor and modify all of my workouts. Know how to modify them because I've been taught very well by Michael how to modify workouts so as to obtain my goals for what I've set for me, which is, everybody's goals are a little bit different. And so I would highly recommend that you get into a program like this with Michael and myself to help you set your goals, and then let's see how we can obtain those goals.
What would be some of the things, because when you were younger, active, you were a dancer, you did a bunch of stuff. What were some of the things that were different or maybe unexpected for you getting back into the gym and into training at 68 when you were active when you were younger? I'm assuming things were easier in terms of fitness and weight loss than they were at 68. So what would be some of the things that maybe you weren't expecting or that you had to change your mindset on or relearn restarting so late?
Oh, okay. I had to relearn that. Could not do everything at 68 that I could do at 50 even. That I had to relearn what I could do and what I couldn't do and how to modify it and how to do it. And that I had to talk myself, motivate myself to really, because when I first started out at 68, I was going once a week because it was a personal trainer at a gym situation with Michael. And I would have to really push myself to go in between our training sessions, to go into the gym and actually practice some of the stuff that we were working on and, use the treadmill and do some weights and do some balls and different things that we were working on. And once I got into the routine of going back into the gym, and then when he opened his own gym, he couldn't get rid of me because I was there every day, 6 days a week. And I loved it. And that I think was my biggest thing, was getting myself motivated to continue to do these things and not give up.
And you gave yourself the time to do that though, right? Like you said, it was just once a week at first.
Yes.
And then over the course of a year is when we went from once a week up to every day. And it wasn't,
Right.
and it was even towards the end of that first year, it was still 2 or 3 times a week because we were training for the marathon, half marathon at that point. So the frequency, it wasn't, it wasn't every day. It didn't switch to every day until you got to work with me every day.
Correct.
So it was just when we had our frequency 2 or 3 times per week, and then you were practicing a little bit in between it, but we didn't shift to every single day until you actually had a coach there with you every single day, which, people who don't have a coach every day, it's harder. So starting out just once per week was enough to build that motivation and momentum, right?
Yes, correct. It was. And then when, and then I said to him one day that my kids and grandkids, a couple of them had run the Disney Princess Half Marathon. And I said, Michael, I'd love to do that one of these days. And of course, I lit up and he said, well, why don't you? And I said, well, I mean, after all, but this time I'm almost 70 years old by this time, because it was like, February, 3 months before my 70th birthday that we went down and ran the Disney Half Marathon. And he said, come on, we're going to do this. And then we were out there in the winter in the parking lot of the gym, running around the building. And, it started with little short sprints and then it was a little longer and then a little bit longer. And then we'd run around the building. And then I would, on the days off that were the days that we didn't meet, because it was like, about 3 times a week, I think, I would take out and run in my neighborhood. And lo and behold, come February of 2013, we went down to Disney. Michael went with me, and we completed the Disney Princess Half Marathon, which was one of the highlights of my life, thinking that I really actually did this, something that I'd wanted to do for a long time. So, and then right after I came home is when Michael opened the X Project, or right about the time. Yeah. And so from then on, I had a coach every day, which was 6 days a week, which was nice. And we still have that at the gym now. I go to class. I try every day, the last couple of weeks have been tough, but only because I'm winding down in my career and trying to train people. But
yeah,
I go 5 to 6 days a week.
And it's all started with just 1 day per week and slowly building up. And then now we're at a point, it's also, there were days that were missed, and it's okay to miss some days. It happens. It's just about consistency over the long term. And 1 day per week might not seem like much. A couple of small nutrition changes might not seem like much, but like you said, you started off 1 day per week and ended up losing 70 pounds over the course of 2 years, and you didn't start till you were 68. So it's absolutely possible, and just got it rolling. And luckily we have Sandi jumped on the call today too, So Sandi, what about your experience with training as you get older? What are the challenges? What did you have to change, especially when it comes to setting goals and expectations versus when you were younger?
Well, I started when I was 60, meeting once and, doing the machines, and then getting introduced to a barbell, which was for me, I was the type of person that never let the wind blow her hair. So for people to see me sweat and get nasty was a new thing for me. But for me, the motivation was just to live long and be fit and healthy. And, I really try hard every morning, because I'm not a morning person, to get up at, 6:15 and get to the gym and do our workout and stuff. And I make sure that on our website for the Y, I can sign in and make an appointment. And that to me is the motivation, because I never want to be the one to cancel my appointment. It just makes me feel really good that I can be in Maggie's position, albeit a little bit younger, where I am the matriarch of the gym down here. And people look at me and say, well, Jesus, if she can do it, why can't I? And that's a big motivation for me, is to be an inspiration to people our age, that it doesn't matter where you are in your age or your fitness, everybody starts somewhere. I started 1 day a week with Michael and learning the proper technique, which I say is the number one thing for people. Just don't go into a gym and start lifting heavy weights if you don't know how to do it properly. And I think that's what causes a lot of people to not continue on, is maybe they tweak their back or their shoulder because they went in and tried to do a push press or a deadlift, and they just watched a video but didn't have someone hands-on to say, wait a minute, fix your back or get your head through the hole. For me, being trained by Michael was the epitome of my training, and I continue on expressing what he expressed to me when I was learning. So yeah, motivation.
So you guys are both in a unique position, because one, you came in, you started with me, we went through the whole process. You are older and successful, which is already rare enough, but then you have both had the opportunity to coach the next group of people.
Yeah.
So from your perspective, you went through the process and now you're coaching those that are older and trying to do the same thing. What are some of the challenges that they are bringing to you, and what do you say to them? Because I know, as much as I can say or do with people, they'll constantly bring back, they will say this to me: I know you don't understand because, but they can't say that to you because you do understand, because you've lived through it. So what are some of the things that you guys have encountered as coaches that you've had to address, and or what has really helped?
For me, I think when I was training with you, and you would put me in class with new people at that time, new people, and especially if they were over 50 or over 55. And I would sort of take them under my wing, and I would work out with them and show them how to do it and how to adjust their bodies. If, for instance, they can't squat ass to grass, like the person next to us can, I'd say, well, neither can I. Our bodies just don't get down that low anymore. And so this is the way we adjust it. This is the way you can do it. And I'll never forget one day with one of the people in the morning class, I showed her how to do the wall squats, where you put, against the wall. she was thrilled when she did that. And then, so every time she was in there, we did those in between when we were doing other workouts. Because we did those as sort of a, an offset of the workout. And she had gotten to the point where she could squat a lot lower. And the day that she actually took a 20-pound kettlebell and box squatted to the lowest box in the gym, it was like glory. Both of us were so excited. We jumped up and down and squealed, and I think everybody thought, what is wrong with those two? But it was an accomplishment for her to do that. And that's the kind of thing that motivates me to work with people, because I really like to celebrate when they get something really good. I mean, I've had some of those people I work with that first time they got a clean and it looked good, or first time they were able to do a deadlift. And, those are the things that motivate me. What about you, Sandi? Miss you up here, Sandi.
Well, I miss you guys a lot. For me, I think that people, my older clients will say, well, geez, I could never pick up anything like that, or I could never do that overhead. And I always tell them, I don't know what it's like to be, a 45-year-old man who's learning, but I do know what it's like to be a 60-year-old woman who never did very much of anything. All I ever did was run. And I know the challenges, and it can be done. It's just putting your mind to getting it done. And like Michael said on his post, I think it was yesterday, is one small thing. What can you change? One small thing. And, you just have to, for me, I tell people, just decide. Is this something that you want to do? Is this something that somebody is telling you that you need to do? It's a personal commitment, and a small commitment is better than no commitment at all. So just if you get yourself out of bed and put your gym clothes on, you're going to go to the gym. But if you get out of bed and you have a cup of coffee and you're still in your PJs and it's like, well, maybe I'll do it tomorrow, the commitment isn't there. And just get up and do it. Just one thing, and that's get out of bed, put your gym clothes on. Or if you work, keep your gym clothes in the car. Don't go home and, okay, well, I got to feed the cats, or I've got to let the dog out, or my kids are coming home, or whatever. Make that commitment to get to the gym. I am not a morning person, and my class starts at 7:30. So I have to get up at 6:15 so that I can have my little Eggo waffles with peanut butter before I get in the car and drive 30 minutes to go to where the gym is. But my initial commitment to Michael, 11 years ago was to be 90 and healthy and fit. And so that's my commitment. And I have to remember that every day. What is motivating me? Well, it's like wearing a mask during coronavirus. I want to live long and be healthy, and just get to the gym. Just do it. I know what it's like to be your age, and it can be done. It's just wanting to do it, not because of somebody else, but because of you. So that's how I answer that question.
Absolutely.
Michael used to tell me that he'd say, you're going to still be doing this when you're 90. And I'd like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Well, I'm 77, and I'm still doing it. I still go in there and lift right next to the 25-year-old young man who is throwing this bar up, and I throw my lightweight bar up the same way he throws his bar up, and somebody else just joined us.
Yep.
Yeah,
Lorna.
that's Lorna. Lorna and I have our orientation call in a little bit later. So maybe she just jumped on to join this conversation. So for both of you, I want to know, what do you know now or use now in terms of keeping fat off, losing fat, getting fit, that you wish you knew and you wish you were doing before you started? Because obviously now you've got a decade of experience, both in the system and then teaching it. What do you know now that you wish you knew when you started that would have made this journey a lot easier or better?
Well, I can answer that, and I'll go back to when I wasn't losing weight and I was working out with you, and I just wasn't losing weight. And I would tell you that at night I was eating rice cakes with peanut butter, and you'd say to me, "It's not enough." And over the years, I've learned that with the intensity that I work out, I need to fuel my body just like you need to put gas in your car. And people think, oh, I've got to diet and I've got to like restrict my calories and eat, 100 calories a day and work out 3 times in order to lose weight. And that's not the fact. And I wish that I had known that a lot sooner, that, your food intake really is a factor, a major factor in losing weight. And I didn't know that before. So
I agree. And it's eating the right foods is what is important. Not eating the popcorn and the ice cream. I mean, you can treat yourself once in a while at a birthday party or something like that, but eating your proteins and your good carbs and your good fats is what happens. Michael, the program we have here at the X Project now is very, very well established, because it's something that was on a sheet of paper that Michael, I know, gave Sandi and I both this sheet of paper of a list of things we could eat.
Oh yeah, I still have it.
I still have mine too. I have mine too. And
beans, greens, and protein.
Yes, and that's exactly what I follow. And every once in a while I have to say, hey, this is not on the list. Is it okay if I eat this? And I've learned over the years what to eat and what not to eat. And also for me, I think keeping my cardio up is a big thing in helping me to lose weight, is making sure that I reach, my peak in most every exercise that I do. My peak is not that peak for a 25 or a 40-year-old, my peak is what I know is my body says, whoa, this is really good. I'm really sweating and I'm getting a good workout. And that's why I go regularly, because if I don't keep up those peak, heart rates in my workout, the weight starts to creep back up, even if, I'm not eating too bad. But, and I up until COVID, I did a lot of traveling with a bunch of my friends. We've traveled a lot. Sandi and I have traveled together. And Sandi and I have been on a gym out on the middle of the ocean doing cleans with whatever we had, and we took our own jump ropes. People would look
we did
sometimes like we were crazy. We're in the gym with our own jump ropes, jumping, but that's what we wanted to do, because that's what we were used to doing, and we enjoyed it. And we went to the gym every day, I think, on the ship.
Yeah, we did. Yep,
yeah,
we did.
Yeah.
What a difference, right? What a change.
What a change. Yeah. I've cruised years and years with family. Gym? What do you mean? Gym? I'm not going to go to any gym. When I was in my 40s or 50s, I'm on a vacation. Now it's like, where's the gym?
Yeah,
Where's
exactly.
the gym? When I was going, I did a long trip this year in October, about a year ago. As a matter of fact, I was on that trip. To Greece and Cyprus and all the Greek Isles, and I found the gym in some of the hotels, and there was a little gym on the ship that we did. So I'd say to my friends, okay, I'm going to the gym. They said, well, meet me in the bar afterwards. No, I'll meet you at dinner. I'm going to the gym. They laugh at me, but
of course,
yeah,
I love it. Okay, well, we got like 2 minutes left. Before we got to jump off, any last thoughts or words of wisdom for this particular call? Of course, we'll do this every week, so you'll have more opportunities. But any last thoughts you guys want to share before we cut it off here?
Just, you're never too old to do what we do. That's my biggest thing. You're never too old, because Sandy and I are both living proof of the fact of how much better our life is since we became physically fit for our age.
And for me, it's one small commitment, just one change, and you can achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. Just make that one change, and just do it. Get up in the morning, put your gym clothes on, and do it. And it'll be a challenge at first, but then it becomes a habit, and you will develop a community at your gym, wherever you go. And that's what will become your motivation, is people there will look at you as they do Maggie and I and say, God, I want to be like them when I'm that age. And that's a really cool feeling, to know that you have the respect of younger people because you're out there doing it, and it can be done.
Well, that's like one real quick thing. I know you've got to go, Michael. I have 12 grandchildren and 2 great-grandchildren, but out of my 12 grandchildren, I have motivated, I would say, maybe 5 or 6 of the older ones to go to the gym. Some are still with Michael. A couple of them live in Virginia, and they go to their local gyms, and they'll often say, I want to be like Momo. I want to be like you. I want to be able to keep up with you. And now that I have, an 8-year-old great-grandchild and a soon-to-be 1-year-old great-grandchild, I feel like I'm a plus to them, because the 8-year-old is over here probably once or twice a week. And we go out in the backyard and throw the football around, or the baseball, whatever he needs to do. The other day I had him over here Monday. He was doing his virtual classroom, and I look over and he's doing fake jump ropes and burpees in front of the computer for his PE class. And I'm like, yes!
That's awesome.
Goodness.
What a sign that is, huh?
I'm doing that, No. But that's it.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, for jumping on and answering those questions. We'll do this again in 1 week. Sandy, it was very good to see your face.
Hey, it's good to see you guys. I miss
Absolutely.
you terribly, and I hope you really believe that text that I sent you yesterday.
I do. I appreciated that very much.
Brings a tear to my eye. Yeah, it was. It's a learning thing, really.
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
right.
But we'll jump on and chat every single week, so we'll be here, Sandy.
Absolutely. All right. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you, ladies.
We'll
All right.
chat later. Just you and me.
Okay.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.